This was my lifestyle questionnaire for my client one. So my first client one was Joshua Last. As you can see here, these are his personal details. So obviously he's called Joshua Last. He lives at 10 Dartmouth Crescent. Then I have his mobile number, his email. So his occupation is banker. His date of birth is the 20th of August 1990, so he is 28 years old. He's 180 centimetres and 74 kilograms. I then asked Josh some questions about his lifestyle. So he said he usually drinks 16 units of alcohol a week, which is over the recommended guidelines slightly, as men and women should drink no more than 14 units of alcohol a week. So that is something that we need to work on to get it down. Also, Josh is a banker, so therefore his job is quite stationary. He sits down a lot of the day, but he doesn't suffer from stress, which is good. However, he does smoke weekly, which is something that we'll need to work on to try and cut down. Because smoking is bad for you, because it's bad for your lungs, and therefore his lung function test results might be worse. He also drives to his job, which is okay, but if he walked or cycled, it might give him more hours of exercise, even though he does do 6+ hours of exercise a week. So that is good, because it is above the national guideline, which says that you should do at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, such as cycling or brisk walking every week, and strength exercises or 2 or more days a week that work all the major muscles. So therefore Josh is following these guidelines. He also gets 5 hours sleep on average a night, which isn't that great, because the average guidelines for an adult is 7 to 9 hours sleep. So therefore Josh needs to try and get a bit more sleep every night. As you can see, from Josh is 28, so his sleep range shouldn't change, remains 7 to 9 hours. So he needs to get a few more hours sleep. Moving on to physical activity. Josh exercises for 30 minutes every day, which is the recommended national guidelines. So that is good. And he exercises for 6 to 8 hours. For 6 to 8 hours a week, which is perfect, as the national guideline says you should do 150 minutes a week. And he's usually physically active, and he also does aerobic and strength exercises, which is good, because he's not just doing one type of exercise. And as you saw before, you should do 150 minutes of aerobic and 2 types of strength exercises, so that is very good. He also does maximal exercise, which means he's using his body to the full max, so he's working really hard. And he plays for a local basketball team, and he goes to Pure Gym in Brighton, which is good, because it shows that he's exercising, and he's doing, like, having fun when he's doing it, and with friends, and he's got a set routine of exercising, so it's more likely for him to want to go and exercise. Nutrition. So Josh, as you can see, drinks 3 to 5 glasses of water a day, but it is recommended that you drink 6 to 8 glasses, so therefore he needs to have some more water a day, which is something that he can work on. And he also only has 4 a day, when obviously you should have 5 a day, so he could maybe have a bit more fruit and veg every day. Furthermore, Josh takes in, as you can see, 3,000 calories a day on average, whereas the male average intake is 2,500. So therefore he needs to try and work on eating a few less calories, maybe by counting all the calories in what he eats, but we'll go on to this further later on. he doesn't follow a specific diet, and he used to take protein supplements, and he says he's going to start taking these again, so I can advise him on whether he needs to take these or whether he shouldn't if it's going to damage his health. Physical health. Josh says he's currently suffering from an ankle injury. However, he's just recovered, but he broke his ankle playing basketball, so he could be a bit weak in that area. But he's not currently receiving any treatment or physio, which is something that we could sort out for him. And he is experiencing back pain in his back as well as his ankle after he goes to the gym. And this is particularly triggered by lifting weights. But he's not prohibited by a doctor to not do anything, so that means our exercise plan is a bit more flexible. Medical history. This is good. Josh has never had any medical problems, and no one in his family has had any major heart problems. His sister has had an underactive thyroid, but I don't think that this is hereditary. There's no real worries there. Goals. So Josh said he exercises mainly for fun and sometimes to get a bit fitter, but he mainly does it for the enjoyment because he loves playing basketball and going to the gym. His goals are quite short term, and he set himself a target to improve his overall strength, and so he can lift bigger weights in the gym and be stronger so he doesn't get pushed off the ball in basketball. The fact that Josh has limited free time is blocking him from achieving his goals. Because he works as a banker, he doesn't have much time to go and exercise. So therefore it's blocking him from achieving his target of improving his strength, because he doesn't have enough time at the moment to do strength exercises. Heart rate check. So I completed many tests with Josh, but before I carried out these tests I had to get my client to fill out an informed consent form. So as you can see, just to make sure that he signed away that it's not my fault if there's any injuries, and that why he's taking part in the activity, and that he will follow all the rules that I set and answer the questions correctly. Therefore, this makes sure I'm not liable if there's any problems or injuries during the test. And therefore we know if he has any major problems that we need to be aware of. So, heart rate check. We did the heart rate checks to work out Josh's resting heart rate, which we got at 64 beats per minute. And then we also completed a lung function test, where so we're just seeing how well Josh's lungs worked and if they were able to efficiently get oxygen around the body. So he breathed into a tube, and then it says on the side of the tube the amount of how much he's breathed, how much air is in his lungs. So this is Josh's result, 590 litres per minute. So as you can see, this is the lung function normative data for men. So along the left hand column we have age, and then along the top is height in inches. So Josh's height is 70 inches and he is 28, so if we round that up to 30, then the average for Josh's age would be around 622 litres per minute. So Josh got 590, so therefore he is slightly below average, which could be down to his high smoking levels. So therefore, if we can improve his smoking levels or get him to quit, then his lung function data might be a bit higher, and therefore he will be closer to the average for his age. We also completed the blood pressure test to make sure that Josh's blood pressure is at a safe and healthy level, so that there's no risk of him suffering from blocked arteries or any other related illnesses from having high blood pressure. So Josh's systole was 105 and his diastole was 47, which we've put in a table here with the rest of, so the typical normative data for blood pressure. So ideal blood pressure, as you can see, is between like 70 and 110. So Josh had, as we said before, systole of 105 and diastole of 47. So systolic was 105, as I've put on the chart, and then the diastolic number was 47. So Josh is in the ideal position for blood pressure, so therefore that's all good. As you can see, high blood pressure would be like 95 or 80 and 150 or 160, and then very low would be 50 and 80. We also calculated Josh's BMI to check if his body mass index BMI is at a healthy level, so it's whether his weight is healthy relative to his height. So to calculate this, we did kilograms divided by meters squared, where a kilogram was his weight, obviously in kilograms, and meter squared was his height in meters squared. So his BMI result was 74 kilograms divided by 1.8 meters squared, gave him a BMI of 22, which, as you can see here, is ideal because for a healthy BMI is 18.5 to 24.9. So Josh was bang in the middle of that, which is perfect. As you can see in this graph, we have plotted underweight, healthy, overweight and obese, and here on the left hand column is the numbers, like the number for the BMI. So Josh's is plotted at 22, and then you can see that this is almost exactly the same as the healthy bar chart, and underweight is a lot less and obese is a lot higher than Josh's. We also did a waist to hip ratio test where we did this to measure his fat distribution and whether he has a healthy amount of fat in his body. So to work this out, we did waist measurement divided by hip measurement. So his waist was 37 and his hip was 75, which gave us a result of 0.49, which, as you can see on this normative data chart that I made by Han in 1991, is better than excellent. And I've plotted on this one Josh's results compared to the other results. So as you can see, anything less than 0.85 is excellent. So Josh's waist hip ratio is excellent, and high would be 0.95, and the average for Josh would have been 0.90 to 0.95. So Josh is doing really well there, so don't need to try and improve. As you can see here, there's typical resting heart rate values. So Josh is 28, so typical value for him, a good value would be 62 to 65, and Josh has a resting heart rate, as you can see here, of 64 beats per minute. So therefore we can tell here that Josh has a good resting heart rate, which is fine. So could try and get up to excellent, but good is fine for the moment.